Hello everybody, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again this week, and we'll carry on where we left off last week with cabin work in Zoe's cabin. Zoe's come to spend the day and she's going to continue sanding the boards, and she's going to continue sanding the bunk, and we'll probably get a decent coat of paint on everything before the day is through. It's a little bit difficult to see in this footage, but she is actually sanding a lot of old stains off. I think we chose a very fine grit. You can probably see a little bit better from here some of the marks. We're using, I think, a 150 grit or a 120 grit sanding disc just to get those little bits off. This is a covered melamine panel, so we didn't want to damage it too much and we didn't want to scuff it up. We just wanted to clean it up. After this, Zoe will give it a wipe down with some acetone, get all the dust off, and then we'll do a coat of white primer on it. For the primer, we're using Interguard 2-part primer. Battery check. I heard the pump running when I arrived and it had been raining, so let's see. So while Zoe's sanding this, I'll just explain where the water comes from. Water runs down the mast because we don't have a proper mast boot, and it's all cracked and not looking very good. We have a wax ring there at the moment. Thankfully it's all fresh water, but we get about half a bucket if we have a decent night's rain. And as for the spinnaker poles, I'm going to give them their first coat of primer. This is a Rust-Oleum metal primer. As you see, I haven't been able to take everything off. I haven't taken all of that white off, but I have been able to get most of it off. So last sanding was with 100 grit. I'm going to spray this down and then I will give it more sanding with a 150 or a 200 grit later and do a second round of priming. And Zoe can now finally get to painting the other side. First full coat has been done. It doesn't look too bad. There's still a couple of patches that I need to come over and give it a little bit of an extra spray down, and a couple of areas that are still a little wet. But I'll leave this for about 40 minutes and then I'll swap it out and put the other spinnaker pole on and begin sanding that. When I do the final coat, it'll be interthane, it'll be a shiny gloss white 2-part epoxy paint on it. You'll be able to see us for miles. So this is our new hatch. This is going to go in the salon, above the salon table. We have to make a frame for it, so this has to sit neatly inside here. Now I've got this nice piece of Meranti, which I'm going to use to make the frame. And there are rounded edges, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to square it up. Unfortunately, I don't really have a plan for how I'm going to do this, but I'll just square it up. Create a dovetail joint, make the frame, and then later do an insert, glue it in place. This will be on the outside, so this isn't going to be visible from the inside, I don't think. Well, let's see how it goes. So I'm not a professional at building these sort of things, so I've decided since recording this that I am just going to make a square frame with dovetail joints on either end, and then make sure that it fits neatly around the hatch, or the hatch fits neatly onto it. And then I'll find a way to make it look a little bit better on the inside. You can in fact see it, but it shouldn't be too bad. Alright, per Zoe's request, this panel is now ready to get its first top coat, which is a blue color, which she chose, and then on opposite walls I think it's like a light green color. Fair enough, we'll go through that, we'll do that and make it look pretty. I think I only get to do about one coat on, as it stands now the room still needs another coat on every wall. But that's because it's now my workshop, so she doesn't really get a chance to enjoy this room yet. But soon, promise. Zoe actually has the nicest cabin of all the cabins aboard the boat. A little bit jealous. Hers is going to be ready long before ours is. But it's starting to look really, really nice, and I think she'll feel a lot more comfortable. Still to do in the corner there, just above the sort of bedside area, is a hanging cupboard's going to get added. Desperate need for having some hanging space, and a reworking of the shelves on the port side so that we can put some proper clothes in there. And then all of the areas under the bunk needs to get fixed up. I think you probably don't see it here, but I have already painted inside there. But that's going to probably have to wait until next week. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for joining. Please comment, like, subscribe, all the YouTuber stuff. And I'll see you next week. Bye.